Joanna Jedrzejczyk versus Weili has been announced. I think it was yesterday. And it's the perfect matchup, no? It's the fight to make. It's the one we all wanted to see. I think it was in what was it? It was UFC 247, their first fight. UFC 240, was it 248? 240. Yeah, it was 248. What a fight this was. What a fight this was. Best women's fight ever. So, seeing it again is great. But like I said, I've talked about this in, when the rumors of Gilbert Burns and Khamzat, the rematch was supposed to happen. I'm like, sometimes that can have the opposite effect. Like, a great fight, now they know each other, they're more tentative. I saw that as a comment. Like, that's what happens, really. Technically speaking, that's what happens. Like, they know each other more. So they understand the defense better. They work on defense better instead of working on offense. But that's not always the case. I'm just saying, like, it can go both ways. I'm just happy they made that match. My only question is, what happens after? What happens after that fight? Because whoever wins that fight still has 2 losses against the current champion. Right? So it's like, it's a tough spot for the women's divisions in the UFC. Like, even at bantamweight, strawweight, flyweight, bantamweight, and featherweight. I mean, featherweight, I don't think it's a division anymore in the UFC, but it's just so dead. It's dead. It's really dead. Like, there's no fighters there. There's no fighters at 145 for the women, and the champions, even at 115, 125, 135, especially 115 and 125, like, they've beaten pretty much everyone. Like, I think the strawweight really has some more fighters to make. Marina Rodriguez is pretty good. Mackenzie Dern, she's had a good fight last fight, but with Zhang Weili and Joanna fighting, what happens after? Like, whoever wins, they're not going to do a trilogy when they both lost, are they? That would be weird. I have no idea how you promote that fight. So it's kind of a weird place to be in. But like I said, things happen all the time. Like, Rose, I think, is scheduled to fight next month. Rose is scheduled to fight next month at 274 against Carla Esparza, which she lost a couple years back. So it's going to be a great fight. I think it's the rightful challenger, and it's exciting, but anything can happen. But I think Rose gets that victory pretty easily. So like I said, if Carla wins, that might shake up the division a little bit. Then you can make Zhang and Carla, or you can make Joanna versus Carla, whatever it is. You can make that fight. Then it makes a bit of sense. But if Rose win next month, it's like, even Zhang and Joanna, whoever wins that fight is not fighting for the title, especially not Zhang. Zhang just got 2 in a row. And Joanna as well. It's very difficult to package it. Like, do you imagine a promo where, okay, so the first time she lost, then it's like, okay, she's rebounding. I had a bad weight cut. I'm coming back, and she lost again. She lose again. And then what happens next? It's like she's building back up, and then she's trying again. It just doesn't make sense. That's why I think Colby Usman as well. Why would I want to see that? Why would people want to see that? People would just want to watch it just because, but it's like, it makes no sense. That's the reality. It makes no sense to make that fight. And maybe that's what the UFC needs to do. They just needs to come out and say, listen, we're making this fight because it's the only fight we have, and it doesn't make sense at all. Rose has beaten both girls twice, but it's the only thing we have right now. So let's make Zhang Weili and Rose another time, or let's make Joanna Rose a third time, and let's make Kobe. And I understand that it's like, there's no story. You see Max and Alex at 145. There's still a a big story to tell right there. Most people believe that Max won that last fight. So in the promo, you can have the first fight, Max losing, But then in the second fight, he loses, but everybody is like, he shouldn't have lost. It was Max's fight to win, you know, and then you see Max being angry and like he deserved to win that fight. Did you get what I'm saying? So that's a promoting technique where you can tell that narrative when you sell a fight like that. But when Rose had a pretty close fight with Weili, but I think it was pretty clear. And in the first fight, she got, you know, dominated her bad. Same thing with Usman Covington. It's like those are a bit more difficult to sell because we clearly saw this enough time now. You know what I mean? So if we see it again, it's like, yeah, the UFC just has to come out and say, there's nothing else to do. This is the only thing that makes sense right now. You know what I mean? This fight doesn't make sense at all, but it's the only thing we have. I've talked about this. It's like UFC doesn't have enough fighter. They don't. They really don't have enough fighters, like especially for the women's division. But they're running out of fighters. They really are, especially at welterweight. Like, look, flyweights as well. The men's flyweight division is not a lot of fighters. Like Kai Kara France is there, but you know that's why they do trilogy and quadrilogy and everything like that. But yeah, especially the women's division and the flyweight division for men, even the welterweight. Part of it is just because Usman has beaten everyone, and the fight aren't as exciting, but it will flow with things. You know, fights will happen and it will create some heat somewhere. I just don't understand like that fight exactly. What are they fighting for? I'm sure, you know, Joanna and Zhang will be watching UFC 274 hoping that Carla gets the win, because that's the only thing that could happen that would make Zhang or Joanna get the title shot next. Because outside of that, they're not getting a title shot. I don't believe so, but I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. It's going to be a great fight. Let's do one fight at a time. And yeah, let me know if you guys are hyped up for this fight. I'm sure you guys are. But it's like, my question to you is, what happens after? What do you want to see after for the winner of Joanna and Weili? Given that Rose will still be champion, right? We'll just give a guess. But if Rose is still champion, what do we do with the winner of Joanna and Weili? What do we do? Asking for a friend. So reply down below. I'll be reading the comments. And with that, I'm out. Peace out, guys.